if America goes and we follow, then an interest rate rise on Melbourne Cup Day can almost be assured. The banks certainly think so at the moment. In fact, it might take more than one rate rise to cool people's spending. So not one, but two, if that's the Reserve Bank's aim. Our business editor, Ross Greenwood, joins me now. And Ross, the US economy boomed in the third quarter, and it's all about consumer spending.
Oh, it's partly all about that, Pete, but also a bit of government spending as well. Anthony Albanese in the United States is really trying to get more Australian companies carved into the Inflation Reduction Act, which is hundreds of billions of dollars of US aid effectively being given out to help the energy transformation. But it really was all about the consumer. I can just show you what the economy in the United States is doing. With interest rates going up, you'd expect the economy to be cooling. And that's what was happening all the way through this year until this quarter. Summer in the United States, look at this, on an annual rate, the economy up by 4.9%, and it really is very, very strong. So the reasons for it put out by the National Economic Council last night, its director, Lael Brainard, spoke a little earlier.
So certainly consumers and businesses are taking into account the cost of credit, and that is, I think, a headwind on the economy. Despite that, we've seen really strong GDP, 4.9% in the third quarter, and we think that's because there is strong support from the policy on the investment side of the economy, the president's historic legislation there.
So what do they spend their money on, Ross?
Everything. I think that's the case. And the amazing thing about this is, you know, these interest rates have gone up in the US. They're supposed to affect people's spending. So just have a look at this. Say, consumer spending on services. Have a look at what it was in the second quarter compared with the third quarter. The change in private inventories, in other words, just people building up stuff in their cupboards and so forth. Consumer spending on goods has gone nuts. But one thing I want to show you, because this is really symptomatic of what's happening here and in the United States. While people have got jobs, yeah, they're cutting back, and there are certainly people who are feeling the pinch. But have a look at the concerts that have actually gone on in the United States. So this is the concert series, and the amount of money they've taken out of consumers' pockets in America this year, this summer. Taylor Swift, $780 million from 53 concerts. Beyonce, 46 concerts, $460 million. Ed Sheeran, 41 concerts, $241 million. They've actually said in the United States it's the first time really premium seats at some of these concerts have gone for more than $1,000. And there's no barrier, as you know, in regards to Taylor Swift tickets or Paul McCartney, Sir Paul McCartney, as he's going around Australia right now. So in other words, while people have still got jobs, they might be feeling the squeeze in some areas, but they're certainly still prepared to spend, and in particular on their own selves. It doesn't matter whether it's four-wheel drives or whether it's a whole bunch of other stuff. People have still got a capacity to keep on spending.
So what does this say about us, Ross, about interest rates here?
Oh, well, it says everything about interest rates. It just raises questions as to whether the Reserve Bank is in fact able to get away with keeping interest rates as low as they have for as long as they have. So let's just take a quick look at the odds of a rate rise on Tuesday week. Melbourne Cup Day, that's it. It's come off a little bit, but it's still a 50-50 call according to the money markets. But the interesting side about this is if you suddenly go to, say, for example, other parts, and the economists broadly, all of the big four bank economists right now say that interest rates will be rising on Melbourne Cup Day. It's inevitable. Pretty much every economist is saying the same thing. And the fact of the matter is, if really Australia follows the United States in terms of this spending habit, then it's not one interest rate rise, but it's actually a couple more that are going to be required to basically get the message out there to people, really, you've got to start to ease back.